better. You know what I mean? You can apply that to your game too. You have a good season or whatever it may be, and you rest on your laurels. You say, okay, I don't want to get any better. I'm comfortable staying where I am. Or you continue to push the envelope and continue to get better. Tiger Woods was winning I don't know how many Masters, decided to change his stroke, change his swing. Why? Because he felt like he can get better. And being at Nike and being with the designers that I'm around, you have that opportunity right there in front of yourself to make the technology better, to increase the shoe. So that's what we decided to do.
And by the way, speaking of getting better, I know this summer we were out to dinner with a mutual friend of ours, and we called you and you said, come on out, have a steak. It was like 9:30, 10 o'clock. We were like, come out, Cole, have a steak. You were like, no, I'm getting ready to go work out. We're like, what? It's 10 o'clock on a Friday night. What do you mean you're going to work out? You're like, no, I got work to do.
I got some business to do.
Yeah, you did have business to do. Got another question from over here.
Hey, thank you. You seem very enthusiastic about the technological aspect of the shoe. Do you ever have to stop and just sort of think about how you're going to infuse Kobe Bryant's personal style into the shoe so that it still is marketable and the kids like it?
No.
Well, can we let's show you though some of the style things there, okay? For the road, there'll be the black.
Yeah, well, see, to get to his point though, it's like, all right, where we always start from, is the technology of the shoe, because our main focus is to make it a better basketball shoe, and then the design element always comes into play later. Like, it's fun, you just kind of mix and match things. You add different flavors, and I like the Nike designers. They spend so much time coming up with all this technology and infusing it into the shoe. That when that's all said and done, I like them to just have free reign to come up with all kinds of colors. And everybody here knows when it comes to sneakers, Nike, nobody does it better than Nike in terms of making the color schemes and all that sort of stuff. So that's when it becomes fun, and just throwing everything in there.
But there will be some special variations of this shoe, and watching you over the Olympics this year and the way the Chinese market reacted, they went crazy. And so you've added some of those elements into one of the special designs of this shoe, and that's the Carpe Diem shoe. Yeah. Now explain that.
Well, you got subtle touches, obviously, with the snake print, Black Mamba inspiration, and also you have the ox that you see here on the tongue, which is the year of the ox, which is actually the upcoming year. So that's the inspiration that we kind of drew from China. I had a great time over there. They embraced me and welcomed me with open arms. So I felt like it was only a natural thing to do to give them a shout out.
Mm-hmm. And the year of the bull. 97, your first year in the league. 2009.
Full circle.
Full circle. And it is the year of the bull. All right, let's take, do we have another online question, guys? I think we do. Let's see who we got online. Well, while we're waiting. We had a question here. Let's get this question here while we're waiting for our online question. Go ahead.
Even though the shoe is a basketball shoe, can you wear it on and off the court?
I'm sure. I am right now. It's kind of, it's comfortable just to walk around in, because it's soft. It's soft, and obviously it plays well off the court because it's a low cut. So yeah, you can rock it with whatever.
Yeah. And by the way, you're late for class if you were supposed to be in class. Just to let everybody know, we're in Westchester High School in Los Angeles, for those of you online, and we are unveiling Kobe's new shoe. And by the way, it's light. It's light. Touch it. Here. Touch it. Touch it. It's light. It's light. We have an online question. What is your favorite color of the shoe so far, or your colorway?
Favorite color? That's too tough.
Is it really?
That's too tough. Really? There's too many of them. Mm-hmm. There's too many of them. I go through phases where some days it's the white one, some days it's the black one, and we got all kinds of other ones coming up down the road. Mm-hmm. So it varies depending on which day you ask me, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Dean Butler, 5 Magazine. Kobe, you probably didn't have the right shoe from the beginning. Like, you go through a process from the first shoe to the finalization, like this shoe. Mm-hmm. Can you take us through the process, like where you said this needs to be improved and that needs to be improved?
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, we've never had to do that. We never had. We sit down in a meeting and we meet for about 2.5 hours, something like that, and we're just talking. We're just talking about a lot of things that we've been talking about here today: inspiration, movie clips, Discovery Channel, whatever. You know what I mean? So stuff that inspires you and gets you going. And then once we narrow that down, they're so good and we read each other so well is that they go back in their think tank into the laboratory or whatever, and they come back with a shoe that's just absolutely it's dead on. So ever since I've been at Nike, every time I've seen the shoe, I've just been like, yo, that's it. So it's been that easy.
Another online question, and this one says, so it really sounds like the designers are open to your feedback. You seem to have great style. How much of an impact did Italian style have on you as you were growing up there?
It had some. It had some in terms of making sure you present yourself in a nice way. Every time you step out, you want to make sure that you look sharp. Some of the things that I won't roll with are the tight shirts and the cigarette jeans and all that. But that's for somebody else. That's not for me. That's not for me. But in terms of when you step outside the house, presenting yourself, in a clean cut way every time, that's something that I picked up. Obviously, growing up overseas.
I remember a fascinating moment at the Olympics when you were doing an interview in Italian and watching the other guys kind of stand around and they had never really heard you speak in Italian.
Yeah.
Does it still kind of freak people out when you speak in Italian? And will you give some for the folks watching online in Italy right now?
I mean, it freaked them out because they never heard me speak Italian. They thought it was just a bunch of marketing stuff until I started actually speaking it. And no, I mean, ciao a tutti miei tifosi in Italia, ci vediamo magari quest'estate.
So all the people in Italy, it's great. I got another question from online. Is this shoe going to be available on Nike ID? I want to rock my school colors for the playoffs.
Yeah, it will be in a limited edition, though, in a limited quantity. But
24 a day.
Right. We are looking to do some things in ID. That's something that we continue to look at because it gives our folks out there more freedom to kind of innovate and be creative themselves and make the shoe a personal experience for themselves. So we definitely look to do more there.
But starting Christmas Day, you'll be able to get there will be 24 lucky people who will be able to get this shoe in a Nike ID version,
right,
which will be your own. So obviously, if that person gets on the internet early, I mean, get on the internet.
Jump on early.
Got to jump.
Make the shoe their own.
You got it. Another question from here.
As being a small forward, shooting guard as yourself, how did this shoe help me perfect my game?
Work on everything. Shooting guard, you got to do everything. You got to be able to post, you got to be able to rebound, you got to be able to defend the perimeter, defend the post, pass. You have a lot of responsibilities at that position, so you got to make sure your game is well-rounded. That means spending considerably more time in the gym than maybe some of your peers.
There it is, right there.
Hey, Cole. DeMarco with Slam. A couple of questions ago, you spoke highly of the Nike design team and whatnot. That's been obvious over the years. But what are some of the intangibles about Nike that makes your relationship with them such a good one?
Yeah, I think it's the passion that we have for sports. I think that's the thing that jumped out at me right away. As soon as you go to the Nike campus, it was just kind of it's an ultra competitive environment. That normally, if I was to compete against people who don't share the same kind of passion, they'd probably look at me like I was crazy. You know what I mean? Or like I was an outsider because I had this ultra competitive nature. Whereas when you go to Nike, they all share that same quality. So you just feel right at home amongst all of them. So.
And if you play basketball, you'll get run out of the gym because they work on their game there, don't they?
They do.
They do.
They pride themselves on working on their game. So.
They do. One of the cool things and one of the cool versions of this shoe will be seen Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Big game Christmas Day.
Yeah.
It's a little personal game, right? It is.
It is.
Yeah. But this is the Christmas Day shoe that Kobe will wear.
Yeah. No, it's like I said, once the technology and all that stuff is done, then Nike just starts coming out with colors. It's like Skittles. There's all kinds of different colors and variations, and it just becomes fun. So yeah, this is the Christmas Day shoe. Check it out.
Speaking of that Christmas Day game, I know you have a lot of games between now and then, but that's something you're focusing on?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big test for us. Obviously that's the team that knocked us out. And up until that point, we pretty much breezed through the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of the standard which we set ourselves, which we use to guide ourselves and how we progress as the season goes on. So it's going to be a good test on Christmas Day to see where we stack up.
Mm-hmm. So far, so good, though. Yes, sir.
One more, Kobe. Well, soccer players are they're tiny, they're little, they're small, not as big and strong as basketball players. It translates maybe to the guards, but how about to the powerful